For today is Dr. Neelkant Chopde. Dr. Neelkant Chopde is a PhD from Amravati University. He has many international and national research publication and citation. He has 12 patents filed and 10 copyrights. His area of interest is signal processing and wireless communication. Dr. Neelkant Chopde has got research grant and consultancy from AICTE Mode Rope scheme and also from BCUD SPPU Pune. He has been a keynote speaker, session chair for various conferences and talks. He has been nominated as BOG member of Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering Pune and has also got special appreciation by KPIT Technology for the work as a jury and member of grand finale for KPIT Sparkle. Currently, he is the professor, principal, and dean academics at Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering, Pune, and has been the director at JSPM Narne Technical Campus, Pune, and principal at Samanvay Pratishthan Thane Institute of Knowledge, Pune. He is going to share his knowledge on intellectual property rights, foundation of innovation, and creativity of academics. We welcome you, sir, and I request you to please start with the session.
Good morning, all.
Good morning.
On this occasion, I would like to thank Dr. Nitnaure, Dr. Baban Rinde, Chairperson, Managing Director, and all the management trustees of KC College of Engineering, Management Studies and Research, Thane. I am really glad to address the session on very emerging topic and important topic. It is the intellectual property right, foundation for innovation and creativity of academics. I came to know through the organizer that around 9,000 participants have registered and shown interest for this webinar. And fortunately, today is 9th May. So 9 figure is very important, I suppose. And there are many mathematical correlations related to the figure 9 also. So at this outset, I will start with my presentation with remembering my parents, because of whom only I am able to present in front of you. So pranam to my parents. The presentation outline for today's talk is like intellectual property. What is it? Then critical thinking and innovation, how it is correlated with the IP. Being representative of academics, how academics, outcome-based education and intellectual property are correlated, and few important case studies. So starting with intellectual property. So all are aware about the property, meaning of the word property. Property, it means that you are the sole owner of the said or defined document. And in terms of the physical properties like house properties, land properties, car, and physical properties, other physical properties, it is certified by the registrar of the state government. So registrar of the subdivisional registrar will certify, will give us the document which clearly mention that the house or the land property belongs to X person. Similar way, car owner, the bill and the RTO authorities, regional transport authorities of government, of state government or the central government, they will decide, they will declare that the particular car or vehicle belongs to this and this person, he is the owner. Similar way, how the intellectual property is representing. Intellectual property is represented rather by the ministry, special ministry is there, and it is in terms of the four components. The first important components of the intellectual property is the patent. How it can be defined? Many definitions have been there. The statutory right for an invention granted for a limited period of time to the patentee by the government authority. So by giving these rights, the patentee have all the rights, all the claims. It's very similar to our house, very similar to our land property. This patent, there are some obviously differences. As far as the term of the patent is concerned, it is granted for 20 years from the date of filing. So this is very, very important. And if it is the international patent, it is filed through Patent Cooperation Treaty. It is called as the PCT. There are almost 153 countries are the members of this PCT, and this term is again for 20 years. As far as the acts are concerned, the Patent Act 1970, and it was amended in 2005 along considering the patent rules, and recently in 2016 it was amended. So the patentee or the inventor must be aware about these laws and these terminologies. Now the question arises, what can be patented? So any invention relating either to a product or a process which is new and it involves the inventive steps and most important capable of industrial application or societal application. So anything that can be patented. These are the four important points which clarifies that the patent or the idea how it can be. So any invention which is patentable if and only if it satisfies four criteria. The first criteria is that it should be novel idea. It should have inventive steps, or it must be non-obvious. This is very, very important. Novel, non-obvious, and it should have the capability of global societal application or industrial applications. And it should not attract the provisions of section 3 and 4 of the Patent Act 1970. Out of these four, any idea which can be patented or it qualifies, that idea is qualified to be patented if and only if it is novel, non-obvious, and have the possibility or capability of the industrial applications. So I hope that the first point I have made very clear, how the patent is very similar to our own property, land property, and it is analogous terminology, and what can be patented, how the patent is defined. Now, second question is what cannot be patented. So there are 13-14 different items mentioned here which cannot be patented. So any frivolous invention claiming contrary to the well-established natural laws. Natural laws are very well defined. So any contrary invention claims cannot be patented. Any anti-humanity animal, say opposite to the or destructing to the animal, plant life or health or to the environment, those inventions cannot be patented. Any discovery of the scientific principles or anything, any living thing, non-living substance occurring in nature, those cannot be patented. The mere discovery of new form of known substance. You are aware about the periodic table and the elements in the periodic table, for example. So, for the known substance, any discovery in new form of any element cannot be patented. Admixture resulting only in aggregation of the properties of the component and the resulting new material or new components, that cannot be patented. Arrangement or rearrangement or duplication of the known devices cannot be patented. Agriculture or horticulture method cannot be patented. Any process for medical, surgical, curative, and other treatment of human beings, plants, and animals, not patented. Mathematical or business method or a computer program or algorithm, not patented earlier, but recently one amendment happens, but I am not aware about the details. Now, before 1 month itself, I came to know that this computer programs and part of this algorithms can be patented now. Although I have included here because I was not completely aware about the amendment, but now I came to know that it is patented. So it will go from this side to previous slide. Then any literary, dramatic, musical, artistic work or any other artistic creation, any other aesthetic creation cannot be patented. Mental act, method of playing game, presentation of information cannot be patented. IC layout cannot be patented. Inventions related to the atomic energy cannot be patented. All this information I have collected from the official website of the Indian patent. Although, and through the discussions at different platforms, there are different patent application types. It is also mentioned in the website, on the website. So the different applications classified as provisional, ordinary, convention application. This is PCT international application, PCT national phase application, patent of addition, and divisional application. So all these 7 different types of applications can be patented. Now, next question arises after discussing what is patent, definition, what can be patented, what cannot be patented. Now, who can apply for the patent? So, any individual, which we call it as a true or the first investor, or his assignee on his behalf, her behalf, either alone, single, or jointly, along with the assignee, with any other person, can file the application for the patent. Second possibility is any legal representative of any deceased person can also make an application for the patent. So patent attorneys are there. Those patent attorneys, after taking the power of attorney from the true investor, first investor, they can file the patent on behalf of the first investor. Now, next question, where to apply? There are many possibilities. Indian Patent Office is located in Mumbai. So we can apply for the Indian patents with provisional specifications or with complete specifications, along with the fee prescribed in the schedule. All the details are given on the website. If the idea strikes, then the provisional specification can be drafted. It is drafted provisional, and we can immediately go with the provisional filing the patent. So it is the provisional filing, and within 1 year we can update our specifications or our claims. In case the application is filed with provisional, then obviously 1 year is available with the patentee to update the complete specifications or complete claims. No further period, no further extension is given after 1 year. If the patentee fails to update the specification, then the patent may get expires. There are two important modes. One is the online application and second is the conventional mode. Wherein in the online application mode, this is the website ipindiaonline.gov.in, and this is the complete URL where all the guidelines are clearly given. One can start with by registering the class 3 digital signature. So after getting the class 3 digital signature, one can create the password, ID and password on the web link and file the provisional or the complete specification patent. The digital signatures are available from different certifying authorities like Code Solution, Tata Consultancy Services, SafeScript, or from Government of Maharashtra, it is eMudra, Government of India. After obtaining our own class 3 digital signature, we can register, we can make our own ID and password, and through the online mode, we can apply. So this is first mode. Second mode of application is offline mode, wherein on paper, we will draft all the provisional or the complete specifications, complete draft, then apply it to the patent office through the physical mode, through the postal mode, by paying the appropriate fee in the form of demand draft or Indian IPC, or net banking support is also there, or any digital payment mode it is supporting. So likewise, so online and offline. So obviously, because of the technology upgradation, online patent support is very, very useful and convenient. Next point is, if suppose somebody clicks the idea and wants to fill up the patent, come up with the draft. So what are the different timelines? So these are also given on the website. So as I started in the beginning itself, after clicking the idea, draft it, see the design, and come with the provisional specifications or complete specification. So form number 2 is applicable for that, filing the complete specification, and we get the 12 months from the date of provisional filing. We get the certificate from the patent office that this is the idea and your topic, and you can from that date we can update our specifications. If it is the provisional, if it is complete, then further steps are there. Those are also clearly mentioned on the website. Another thing is form number 3 is used for preparing the statements and undertaking regarding the foreign applications. And in that case, within 6 months, we have to update the complete specification. Then after 1 year, the patent journal is there. 1 to 2 years, our invention is published in the patent journal. It will be published on every Friday and in online mode. So the patentee gets the corresponding information about the publication. So that will be the second phase. First is filing the complete or the provisional patent. Then the publication of the patent from the patent office, where they ask the community about the title, about the claims, likewise. Then one can fill the request for examination. It is form number 18. After publication, and then the examination happens. Somewhere one-to-one interview or interaction happens, and then the form number 5 is there, where we have to give the declaration of our inventorship. Say this will be after 1 month after filing the patent. And if suppose the inventor is not happy with the examination, then reapplication can also be made. So total, after filing the patent, this period can be extended up to 3 months, likewise. Then form number 7A is there for pre-grant opposition. Post-grant opposition, it is form number 7. In case of the this biomedical side patents, the deposit of this material 3 months are will be given from the date of filing, where we can deposit. And form number 27 is used for giving the information related to the working of the patent. So these are the different timelines. I hope that after clicking the idea, after drafting, submitting, different timelines are there, and those are clear to you. If you miss any timeline, obviously the loss is of the patentee. So we have to be very strict about the timelines. Apart from Indian patents, now there are different international patents. One is the US patent, and this is the web link. Complete URL uspto.gov. Australian patents, ipaustralia.gov.au. European patents, this is the web link, epo.org. And international patents through PCT. PCT is Patent Cooperation Treaty. This is the link. What is the difference between Indian patent and the global patent? This is obvious question from your side. So Indian patent, when idea, any innovative idea is patented in India by following the guidelines given by the Indian Patent Office, then it is a complete cycle of 48 months, 12 months, 1 year, so 48 months, 4 years. So if I filed the patent today, that is 9th of May 2020, so it will take minimum 4 years in the conventional mode to, if all the steps are clear, to award the patent. So it is called as the granting the patent. So one term is filing the patent, provisional filing or a complete specification. And after examination, after defense, after clarifying all the queries of patent examiners, the patent may be granted to the patentee, and the period is 4 years. So it is very important to follow the timelines if somebody is really interested in this field. Patience is very, very important, and follow. If you come up with any idea, then you have to keep the things noted in your diary. All the follow-ups are also to be noted, and likewise you can take up and see. In my case, I have started to work in this specific area during my PhD, and when I filed my first patent, after 2 years, it is published by the patent journal. Then the claims were refined during 1 year itself. Then examination form, we filled the examination form, and examination happens, but still those are not granted to us. Again, it is in the pipe. So it is very say I already quoted. It is a patient say we have to be very patient to see that the patent is granted from the date of filing. In our institute, Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering, I am happy to share that we have created a very good research culture and innovation culture in our institute. The student, right from first year, when they enters into the first year, we make them aware about the different opportunities, how to think critically. I will explain it further, and they will come up with the thrust area. We expose them to the different thrust areas where they can think of and come up with some ideas relating to the problems first, identification of the problem, and then picking up the problem, solutions to some of the problems mentioned in the form of the ideas. So those will be happening through the idea presentation competition, and it will be also supporting the project based learning, PBL. So because of that, some idea every year we are coming up, and in from 2012, I remember 2013 we started seriously in this aspect. First year in the first year 2013-14, I remember we come up with 3 patents filed provisionally. Then that figure consistently increasing every year, and as on today we cross 225 filed patents from the institute by the students and the faculties together. Many patents, more than 70 patents are published in the patent journal, and they are now on some of them are in the final stage of granting, although not grant. Yeah, two patents are granted, others are in the pipe. From the faculty side, we have filed similar patents, and granted patent from the faculties are 4 in PCCOE, and of these 4 patents, 2 patents have been commercialized. So patent filing, then awarding the patent, granting the patent, and finally it should be converted into the product. It should be made commercialized. So we have completed all these steps in PCCOE. Filing the patents by the student, faculty, staff, granting the patent from the student and the faculty, and converting it into the product and the commercialization also. And on this platform, I am happy to share that from the academic side, our 2 professors, they have sold their patent to the industry, where the industry come up with the product, and though the cost of these patents sold, for one patent they got 9 crores rupees, and for the second patent they got 12 crores rupees. So altogether 21 crores rupees we got by through this patent commercialization. So purposely I told this case study of PCCOE because on different platforms, through the certification agencies, through the surveys, many points, many parameters are there relating to the faculty assessment through research outcomes, and those are whether the faculties have filed patent, filed copyrights, etc. And whether how many patents filed by the institute, then quality research paper, Scopus-based publications, Google Scholar indices. So all these parameters are there. So educational institute can do much better in this area, and that's why I purposely highlighted the PCCOE case study. Similar to PCCOE, there are many institutes I am aware in Mumbai, in Pune, and at other places also, where the faculties and students they are taking real interest, keen interest in this domain, and come up with a very good solutions to the societal and industrial problems. So I was telling you the different patent platforms. So in Indian patent platforms, if somebody files the patent with IP India, then government of India will grant the patent and it becomes an Indian patent, say applicable for 20 years. So out of 20 years, if suppose the patent is granted, it will take almost 4 to 6 years, uh, 4 to 6 years, even though it was mentioned 48 months, but it will take more than that. So after 6 years, then the remaining 14 years will be the valid period for the awarded patent. So somehow that period needs to be reduced. And recently I came to know that through the Atal Innovation platform and uh, through the by registering the institute as a Section 8 company, the processing of the patent happens at the faster rate, where the timelines mentioned earlier, those will not be applicable. Even if somebody comes up with the startup and files the patent under startup, so the processing happen at faster rate and the patent can be awarded earlier. Indian patent is applicable in India only. However, the global patents are applicable in almost 153 countries, as I mentioned. So, if you find that that patent has the potential which will serve the global needs, so obviously we have to think of the international patent. So Indian patent is one platform, and these are the other platforms where US patent, Australian patent, and European patent. These are the market leaders. China is also a market leader. But you will, after making the analysis of specifically US, their patent and these values or revenues through the patent, they will be contributing almost close to 40% of their GDP through the patents, and through the obviously the research vertical, they will be contributing 40% of their GDPs, similar to the European patent. However, if we compare this situation with India, uh, the scenario is very discouraging, where uh, on an average, the GDP contribution, if we speak in that terminology, then hardly it is less than 2% also in India. I'm not exactly have that those figures, but tentatively somewhere I came to know through the discussion, less than even 2% of the total GDP. So, as an intellectual community, academic community, we have to give serious thought to it, and if we propagate it from through the student community, definitely we can increase our GDP through these patents. So this is the global patent. Obviously, the question on this topic is whether one should go for the Indian patent or the global patent. So the answer to this question is it is up to the user, up to the patentee. See the potential and feasibility, applicability, and accordingly you can select. So it is your choice. If you want the global market of for your invention, then your choice may be the US, Australian, or PCT. But after making the analysis, PCT based analysis of filing the patent through PCT, that will be the good choice. I spoke about the patent journal. On every Friday it is published. This is the web link. So all the patents information relating to the patent application is published. So this is about the patent. So I hope that I have satisfied or I have created the awareness about what is patent for the beginners. Those who are already working in this field, they can have the more details through one-to-one interaction, or the web link is also given to you. Second important component of the intellectual property, it is the design. And whatever the models we are preparing, so there are distinct steps for designing the model or the project. Obviously, block diagram approach, then say replacing every block with the models or with the circuits, so we can take the uh, ownership of those models, those designs, by specifically processing through this vertical. So this is designs. All the details regarding these designs are given through this web link, ipindia.nic.in designs. Third step is third important parameter is the trademark. So you all are aware about the different logos of the industries or institutes. So we can take the ownership of those logos. So those can be thought of a trademark. So designing a logo, one example, designing a trademark for a specific organization and taking the ownership, that is one of the important aspect of this intellectual property. So this is the third aspect. Whatever I spoke, it is related uh, to the intellectual property, and the official say authority is Office of the Controller General of Patent, Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks. So CGPDT, this is the abbreviation normally used. Office of CGPDT, Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, and it comes under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and this is the web link, ipindia.nic.in. So all the official communication and the authority for granting the patent is lies with the Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks. Yes, after the first component of intellectual property, that is patent. Second important component of the uh, intellectual property, it is the copyright. Now, what is copyright? So the authority in India, it is given Register of Copyrights, Bauddhik Sampada Bhavan, New Delhi, and this is the web link, copyright.gov.in. Now, what is copyright? You might have seen many times the word C, and it is circled. So it indicates that whatever the book, whatever the document we are reading, whatever the audio video clips or audio video complete series, so that is copyrighted. Meaning is that those rights are given by the law creators to the person or to the institute. So simple, the copyright can be defined rights given by the law to the creators of literacy, dramatic, musical, and artistic works, and producers of cinematograph, films, and sound recordings. So, and second important aspect is for the reproduction, one has to take the permission if somebody say wants to use the part or the complete this book or likewise. So copyright registration, one we can take the copyright of our own say document or of our own creation. So we can take the copyright for the published or unpublished work. So from the we are representative of academics. So whatever the experiments we are designing, whatever the procedure we are writing for conducting the experiment, so that is our own. So we can take the copyright for that laboratory assignment. We used to call it as a laboratory assignment, which will completely give the details about the how the experiment is conducted, what are the components required, what are the how the circuit works, how the model works, and observation, experimentation part, and from the result, what is the comment, what is the conclusion, etc., etc. So that template, even that document can be copyrighted. We can take the copyright. If suppose we are creating, we are writing the research papers. So for the published paper also, we can take the copyright. But there are some obviously clarification we need to do, and for unpublished work also we have to take the copyright. Separate application for registration of each work with prerequisite fee is expected if we want to register for the copyright. So if somebody comes with multiple applications or multiple thoughts, multiple documents, so separate applications are expected, and duly signed applications or power of attorney signed by the party or accepted by the advocate may be enclosed for processing the application, and the required fees in the form of DD, IPO, or e-payment mode like NPTL or any payment mode, the apps that is applicable can be made to the register of copyrights, and obviously all the information needs to be completed. Form number is mentioned for registration of the copyright. It is XIV, that is application form for the registration of changes in particulars can be made through this form, and any discrepancy if they are sending, then that needs to be clarified. Then the copyright is awarded to the applicant. One point is I mentioned miss actually the timeline for the copyright. If somebody starts and apply for the fresh copyright, then it is hardly a 6 months process maximum, wherein you will get the certificate from again the office. I have already given you the address, and those authority will give you the certificate. That certificate claims that you are the owner of whatever the documents you have submitted. On this platform, again, I am happy to share you that we have again promoted the good awareness about the copyright, and more than 100, more than if altogether is taken, more than again 250 copyrights we have registered for PCCOE from different departments. So all the students, faculty are aware about how the document is to be copyrighted. Their project reports, final year students or undergraduate, postgraduate students come up with some innovative ideas, some ideas, So their documents can also be copyrighted. For PhD research scholars also, the topic of their research, their objectives and their methodologies, those can be copyrighted. So the ownership remains with the user then. So this is about the important important aspect of the intellectual property, that is the copyright. One common question may be from the user that if both the documents, patent documents and the copyright documents, are showing the ownership of the process of the document, then where the user should go for the patent or for the copyright? So the answer to this question is the patent, if it is satisfying these four criteria, and if novelty is there, and say industrial or the societal problem solution is there in the form of the product, then definitely the choices go for the patent. Copyright may be the part of the document, or even if it is a complete, then it can be copyright likewise. So it is obviously, it depends upon the choice of the user, and obviously the legal advisor, patent attorney, or the relevant members, they can also guide us, guide you. Okay. This is about the intellectual property, first point. Second important point of my talk is critical thinking and innovation. As you all are aware that this is very important area. Everybody is anxious to file the intellectual property, but how? The journey starts with the out of box thinking. So this is the complete black box, and whatever the expected things are there, okay, those can be listed down. These are the expected things. Whatever the physical assets available with you, so those can be thought of a black box, and whatever the inputs are expected, those can be again listed down. So if we come up with this model, then definitely it will develop the thinking ability, and I used to call it as a critical thinking, and critical thinking leads to the invention. This is very thumb rule. Just I will tell you the very simple. It is not a story, but it is the one of the very famous quoting. You all are aware about our road transport minister, Nitin Gadkari. In just I remember before 1.5 months, he addressed the nation, and in his speech, he spoke about this aspect, how the technician, how the technology persons can create the jobs to the unemployed persons by critical thinking. And he gave the example of waste hair, extracting the amino acids from the waste hair. He also narrated the problem that many, it was a great problem, say recorded at different places, at municipal corporations, in Tirupati Samsthan also, what to do with this waste hair. And then suddenly he gave the solution. He said, I have a very good solution for that. We can extract the amino acid from the waste hair, and it will give employment to many people. And then, again, that idea is floated, and yes, that waste is converted into the utility. So he gave this specific example. If we think critically, definitely the waste can be converted into the useful thing. I have identified few case studies at last, wherein I will clarify this. Critical thinking leads to the invention, and we can have the employment also. We can have our own product development also. Even we can have our own startup, our own company, like that. Next is invention and innovation. You all are aware about critical thinking leads to the invention. Then what is innovation? Say, by making our critical analysis, uh, product design can happen. So in that case, I will again, with reference to the case studies, at last I will clarify these points: invention versus innovation. Creative thinking, critical thinking versus creative thinking. This is again very, very important. Uh, see, when I spoke about this patent, so the journey starts with the thought process. There are two types of vidya, suvidya and kuvidya. So similarly, when the when we think of, then some category of the experts or inventors may come up with the invention which may be useful to the society. Uh, some may be coming with the destructive thought, like say example of the innovation in innovation in the this biological weapons, like whatever we are facing right now. Uh, so in that way, the thing should be supportive to the environment, to the human mankind. So when I use the word creative thinking, so it is mostly related to the creating some very use or utility. It may be from the waste or from the available infrastructure with us. Um, I would like to tell you the very simple and short story of Apple. You all are aware about how the journey of Apple happens, and say mm, the founder of Apple, he came to India. You all are aware about the story. He tried to be sannyasi for some period, but later he realized he go back and come up with the uh, very good organization and billionaire company uh, with very attractive products. And during those period, all the brands were almost extract, and Apple have taken the lead. Why? So it is according to Simon Sinek. It is the golden circle. If we make the analysis in the specific format, why, then how it happens, and exactly what. So the journey of the growth of any organization starts from why, then it goes outwards like how, and finally what. So systematically, Steve Jobs work with this Sinek golden circle while devising the different products, maybe starting from the mobile phone to the various other digital gadgets, considering the market survey and considering the utility, making a own branding, own support, monopoly type of thing. Like, so he made the why analysis. Then second is how and what, and this is the success of for any good organization. This may be applicable to Tata Motors. This may be applicable to any great organization. Simon Sinek's golden circle. Now coming down to the third point, it is relating to the academics. So we all are aware about outcome-based education and how it is. Outcome-based education is related to the intellectual property. When I spoke about the outcome-based education, you all are aware about this terminology. Purposely, I have written vision of the institute, mission to achieve that vision, then our education program educational objectives, program objectives, program specific outcomes, program specific outcomes, course outcomes, then Bloom's taxonomy levels, then the teaching learning process, then the content delivery methods, then assessment, then involvement of the industry in the curriculum design, delivering the contents which are required by the industry, technology, skill-based courses, happy courses, so that the whatever the hidden skills are there, those will be come out. Then choice-based credit system, program assessment and evaluation. While doing all these things, so you all are aware that from the academics teaching faculty. So while addressing our courses, so you will make the planning, you will make the content delivery planning by selecting appropriate the content delivery method. Then after delivering the content, specific content in qualitative manner to the students, you are expecting outcomes and you are assessing those outcomes through the questions, which again you are framing by using the different levels mentioned by the Blooms. So right from remembrance to the application. So you set the questions and you assess the students from the after assessing their answers to those questions, testing their say memorization level to the application level, like design, develop, likewise. So you all are aware about the verbs and this thing. Now, how this outcome-based education, how this this way leads to the development of the intellectual property. Say suppose you are say designing fundamental courses. You all are aware about the fundamental courses delivery. Then some courses are from the management side, finance side. You all are aware about the curriculum, how the curriculum is designed. Say multiple guidelines are there from the different authorities. You all are aware that flexibility in the curriculum, choice-based credit system, and this thing. So by teaching the students regarding the financial management aspect, engineering student, consider the case of computer engineering student, say teaching the balance sheet to the student, because in the normal curriculum, balance sheet, reading the balance sheet, preparing the balance sheet, those concepts are not there. Then industrial finance and those things are not there. But those are expected things. When the student comes out, he or she must be aware about financial management, project management, then how the project proposal is written, how it is to be processed, what are the different authorities, correct? So while addressing such type of contents to the students, indirectly you are making the student aware about the intellectual property. So how in the content, sometimes you might be telling them ki when you are writing the proposal, project proposal. So how the starting point is, again it is it starts with the critical thinking. Exactly what you want to start, what you want to design, what you want to develop or produce in the form of a product. So that will be the final stage of the project proposal. You want to set up this and this thing. So critical thinking. So you definitely develop the critical thinking among them. Then the problem statement. What is your problem statement? Then then the preparation of the methodology. Then regarding the from where is he or she get the finance, so financial aspects. Then human infrastructure requirements, including the human resource requirement and the physical infrastructure requirement, and how it can be suffice of, and likewise. So by addressing, this is one example I am giving, management course content delivery to the engineering student. Similar way, we are giving the content delivery. We are expecting, and we are ensuring the content delivery right from fundamental courses to the applied courses and the open elective courses or industry driven courses. So if the proper care is taken by all the faculties nowadays, because of outcome based education, it is mandatory for every faculty to taught a specific courses uh, where the outcomes are as per the expected outcomes, which we are writing in the course curriculum itself, in the syllabus itself, specified by the university. After learning this specific course, the students are expected to do the following: one, two, three, four. So those are the specific outcomes. In one of the program outcomes, POs, lifelong learning is one of the say PO mentioned. So wherein the self learning, then how efficiently find the information from the digital information available from the ocean of the say from the ocean. So efficient uh, searching, efficient way of finding the information. So that is also very very important. And yes, I have somehow diverted, but this outcome-based education philosophy of working or addressing the courses to the students will definitely develop the critical thinking among them, and it will be again supported by the mini project or the activity-based learning. So which I will be addressing in the next point. So second way of addressing the curriculum is the through the project-based learning and activity-based learning. So I would like to tell you that the journey may start uh, with the thrust areas. Now, what is thrust areas? Thrust areas were defined by the technology forecasting and innovative council, and very good document is there. It is the vision 2035. So where they have very clearly uh, enlisted all the things, or even we all are aware about the thrust area. Very simple. If we are living, we require energy, we require food, we require clean air, clean drinking water, transportation, easy transportation. We require money, we require the ways to handle the money or to handle the information, digital learning. Uh, we require obviously minimum facilities to live happily. So whatever required for balancing the things for the happy life, so those can be enlisted in the form of the thrust areas. So very important thrust area may be the mobility, maybe the energy, maybe the transportation. If the students and the faculty is aware about this terminology, then definitely while addressing the courses, they come up with the different activities very closely related to that course. Say, uh, you all are aware about the pollution. So, while teaching the courses, specifically, I am giving example of chemistry. first year engineering chemistry, if they are made aware about ki under pollution, we are teaching them first year faculty ki air pollution, water pollution, and other. So sound pollution, etc. Simultaneously, if the problem areas are asked to identify, or if the summative assessment or the formative assessment concept is used for teaching, for addressing the content to the students, then definitely they will help a lot. In our institute, again, I am giving the case study of PCCOE. We are using activity-based learning for almost all courses of engineering and management. So, wherein this activity-based learning, ABL, is connected with their internal assessment. Every student have to do some activity for the courses, and obviously, it is the decision of the course coordinator to give those activities. Say, example for mobile communication course of ENTC engineering, one activity may be given how the mobile hazards can be minimized. Another activity may be how the mobile can be efficiently used by the senior citizens, how the radiation hazards can be minimized in case of uh, while using it appropriately, in specifically for senior citizens, and likewise. Then antenna, then likewise. So many activities the faculties are planning and they are executing. So it has drastically improved the quality of the teaching and learning. Uh, Along with activity-based learning, this second point, it is the project-based learning. So if the thrust areas are made very clear to the students, definitely the problem can be identified and multiple ideas can be generated to sort out the problems, to give the solutions to the problem, and those ideas can be further nurtured, can be further developed through the mini projects, to the major projects, and some concrete product can be designed. So that way we have come up with good products also. Second thing is very, very important. It is the specialized interest groups. As I was discussing about the curriculum, academics, how academics is supporting the intellectual property. So we all aware about our faculties are specialized as per their knowledge, as per their choice, and those specializations. Example is in mechanical engineering, heat power engineering, or thermal engineering, or vibronics, and likewise. So accordingly, those faculty can create the interest among the students who are working or willing to work under that vertical. So in our institute, we have the specialized interest groups in all engineering disciplines and management college also. So in ENTC engineering, I would like to specify that VLSI embedded is one of the vertical where the student and faculty is working specifically to address the problems, to identify the problems and solutions in that area. Then second one is the communication, wherein the digital communication, analog communication, wired, wireless communication, then broadband, then this sensors, wireless sensor networks. Okay, those are addressed in this particular. Likewise, so these specialized interest groups uh, working for the faculty and students together, they will develop definitely the critical thinking, the critical, say, innovative thinking among the student, and they will finally definitely come up with the intellectual property. So they come up with the registration to the patent, come up with the file registration to the copyrights. Like self-learning is again very, very important thing. So through the project-based learning, the students are promoted, faculty are promoted for self-learning. So once the problem statement is given to them, they will start searching. They will identify the details, components, bill of material, and they come up with the simulation, then the designing, modeling, and then finally the testing and developing the product. So definitely this is again very supportive, which will finally correlate with the intellectual property. Skill development. So again, the project-based learning supports the skill development of the student and the faculties, and they will finally lead to the intellectual property. Uh, if somebody is really interested in programming, if somebody is really interested in, say, under programming, there are soft programming, hard programming. So the student will definitely get that benefit. Uh, Critical and innovative thinking. So if the problem statement is given, I will just give you example. If the problem statement is given to the first year engineering student of all branches, he uh, design a very simple power supply to have the following specifications: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 volt, then 200 milliampere. Just vary the specification of 5 volt and 500 milliampere. Then variation in the voltages, variation in the currents likewise. So the student starts thinking after learning the basic electronics course and electrical engineering course, they definitely come up with different designs, say identify the components. They will definitely refer the data sheets. They will say purchase those components from the market. So while purchasing, they will specify the component. They will specify the rating of the component. So all these things are very important. So that it supports the students uh, with all these aspects: self learning, skill development, critical and innovative say thinking, finding the alternative to the components. If suppose some component is not available, then what is the equivalent component, alternative component? What is the voltage levels, current levels expectation? What is the interface design? What is the PCB? Then testing the PCB, developing the PCB, then problem finding likewise. So it will help the student to develop, student and faculty obviously to develop this thing. And finally, it is very closely linked to the intellectual property. Out of box thinking, I already spoke about. Learning through act. Learning through act is again very closely associated with the activity based learning. Uh, so it will be again supportive to the this is academic practice, supportive to the intellectual property and product design and development. Obviously, final aim is to design the product and develop and make it commercialized. So in short, this project based learning activity at all the levels will focus the student, will make the student focus rather, and they will understand the curriculum, they will understand the concepts, they will understand the technology, and they definitely come up with the very good outcomes uh, as far as their own development is concerned. And in again PCCOE, we are very rigorously following this project-based learning, right, from first year to all engineering programs at all the levels: second year, third year, final year, and master level. And every student is supposed to undergo through the project, maybe in the form of a group, right from first year to final year. So it has developed the students, and when the employer will speak us, so we have the stakeholders feedback. So the employer will give this acknowledgement that the students quality or students are different, PCCOE students are different, and one of the difference they will find is the attitude of the student. So while working under this project-based learning and this whatever the efforts we are taking, the students are developing the right attitude. So attitude development of the student is again very important. And I find that this academics, outcome-based education philosophy, well supported with activity-based learning, project-based learning, will help the students to develop the uh, this intellectual property. And the witness is that many students are coming up with the multiple ideas, and they are drafting the document and coming up with the copyrights, coming up with the patents. So that is the proof. Then I spoke about the thrust area. So quickly I will go. Health and hygiene, most important. Green energy, transportation. This is the mobility, communication, control, automation. Smart sensors, the smell sensors, telepathic communication, human body organs, way of anesthesia, weapons, medicine, and the most important, what we are facing, it is the COVID-19 challenges and solutions to those problems. So, if we highlight this thrust area, definitely we can have the multiple problems first and solutions to those multiple problems through multiple ideas. Then the last point of my presentation, different case studies. So my the what the topic we have chosen, it is the intellectual property right. Then foundation in academics, foundation for innovation and creativity to academics. All these case studies will support to the title and the contents I deliver. So bioelectric toilet, I will just read the case studies and I will explain one or two case studies. Energy from sewage water, birth of the printing press, waste hair, Khandesh card, and water from air. So I will explain the energy from the sewage water. First, bioelectric toilet is also relating the energy. See, uh, the thrust area were given the remote located remotely located person where there is no possibility of energy must have the minimum energy for his survival. And this thought was very well nurtured by the student. And then after thinking out of box, what can be given? Suddenly the student came ki solar energy will be the solution. But again the infrastructure required to have the solar energy to be the utility electrical is the panel sensors, then the batteries, maintenance of those things. But at very remotely located place, the energy and that too at the cheapest cost is proposed by one of the student, and this is the innovation presented in KPIT Sparkle event. Uh, we hosted the grand finale in our PCCOI campus, and this innovation was presented by IIT Kharagpur chemical engineering student, postgraduate student, and her innovation was really great. She come up with an idea that considering a very remotely located village, a remotely located place, how the energy can be generated. So she come up with a paper pouch, which is definitely available at any place. Paper, our newspaper type. She come up with a pouch of different, say, dimensions. Uh, uh, she used the electrolysis principle. So she made the inner surface of the pouch with conductive by using the hair eyeliner and connected the two wires, one as to extract the energy from, and in the pouch, uh, a wastewater. She used urine in that case, and then depending upon the size of the pouch, the she generated the energy, made the calculation, and demonstrated that a small LED can be lit. So increasing the that cell size, she used to call it as a cell. That cell size, increasing the cell size, a small bulb she used to glow by using this. And so she have given the name of that innovation, that energy generation from the contaminated water or sewage water, from urine. And whenever there is a person, there is human being, this contaminated water, urine is available, and by using very cheap cell, the energy can be generated. So minimum they can have the light at their house. So this is the cost effective say energy generation technique by using the this. Bioelectric toilet is one of the innovation again presented in the Sparkle event, wherein by using the wastewater, they come up with very innovative way of generating the electricity, and it was self-sustaining. I would like to tell you this fifth. It is the Khandesh card. It is the case study telecasted by many channels. It is the case of Sri Madhukar Chaudhary. By service, he was a retired ZP teacher, and after retirement, he started. He was very creative right from beginning. He has narrated, and he started to with the design of the solar based vehicle, and the purpose was to just have the feasibility and movement from home to the to his farm. And he come up with the scrap. He purchased all the scrap from the market, that scrap market, and design his own vehicle. uh, and the inputs to the vehicle is again the solar panels. He designed his own solar panels, not the ready-made panels, own solar panel by picking by purchasing the um, sensors, solar sensors. And that vehicle, it was the hybrid vehicle. Battery support is also there, and solar support is also there, and it was working very nicely. He has demonstrated the working of that cart. Cart is purposely used the word because it is not a bike, not a three-wheeler, four-wheeler. It is some mixture, and he was so innovative. By profession, he was not engineer, not a technician. He was a simple ZP teacher, but by passion and by self-learning, he developed the skills. He set up his own garage where all the electrical, mechanical, electronics related things were there. Personally, I have visited his workshop, and I was so astonished to see the thought process of a retired, say 75 plus person, ZP teacher. He was telling all the technical details, whatever we faculty teach to the student regarding the technology, technical details, then the electrical and disconnections. So really, what is expected by passion also we can develop the excellent outcomes. So I will take the last minute to summarize the thing. All these case studies are excellent. I can one to one discuss with the members. So in summary, uh, I have started with intellectual property, then different components of intellectual property like patents, then right from definition, the process, uh, to online and offline mode, and types of patent, then the different say national international patents, and second component of the intellectual property, that is the designs, then the trademarks, Third component is the copyright. Then the another aspect, how the academics, then the outcome based working philosophy, activity based learning and project based learning, they are supportive to the intellectual property outcomes. Then last, the case studies of few case studies wherein all the combinations of this critical thinking, out of box thinking, the attitude, lifelong learning, how those will be coming out and coming out to a utility product, and definitely they will be the one of the very renowned product in their product, and those are cost effective also. So I hope that this lecture will be quite useful to the learners, new members, and those who are already working in this field. They will find some few inputs, or if required they can have the one-to-one discussion with me. My details, mail is given here. It is nilkantha.chopde@pccoipune.org. I will be happy to have the interaction with you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed very informative session. There are many questions coming up from the YouTube audience as well as from the faculties.
Okay.
So to start with the question, there is one question. Can you suggest one activity-based learning example under management studies?
Certainly. For all the engineers, reading the balance sheet. What is balance sheet? How to read the balance sheet? That can be one of the excellent example where all the engineering discipline can use this.
Okay, sir. There is one more question, sir. While mapping activities and project-based learning to PO and PSO, how to set the target for the same, and at what level, like high, medium, low?
See, in real sense, when we call it as a outcome-based working philosophy, one of the distinct outcomes of engineer as a product is the ability to develop and design and develop the product, any product. So it can happen through the uh, different say projects, right from our micro projects, mini projects to the
Okay, sir.
major projects, final year projects. Definitely we can set up the targets as a medium for mini projects, major for the strong for the final year project.
Fine in your projects. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. There is one more question, sir. What is the process to establish a copyright cell in the college?
Very simple. Research and innovation verticals might be there. So just if it is not there, then ask the research coordinators to have the copyright cell along with the patent cell. If patent cell is not there, then patent and copyright can be clubbed together.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Or just even you can have the tie up with the patent attorney. They will definitely guide us in this
Patent
aspect.
attorney. Okay, sir. So the next question is how to get a copyright for an awarded PhD work.
Definitely, for the published work, we can register it for the copyright. Only thing, while drafting it, we have to give all the references of the published work. But
Okay.
if the copyright of the result and the documentation, if it is given to somebody else, it is normal case. So in that case, we have to justify what is the new technique or what is the new thing where we want to take the ownership.
Mhm. Okay, sir. So the next question again, sir. What role does WIPO play with regards to patent?
What? Please repeat the question.
What role does World Intellectual Property play with regards to patent organization, World Intellectual Property Organization? How does it play an important role in our patents? Does it?
Actually, I will answer this question. You can direct him or her to mail me.
Okay, okay, sir. There's one more question, sir. If a person fails to file reply of FER of patent in 6 months, whether he or she gets 3 months extension automatically?
I think we have to contact the patent office in that case,
Okay.
if the timeline exceeds. Yeah.
The particular patent
Yeah.
office. Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Whether behavioral finding or discoveries can be patent?
Behavioral finding or discoveries? No.
No, sir. Okay, sir. So, sir, that's it. So we have these were the questions coming from the audience as well as the faculty, sir.
Okay.
So thank you so much, sir. To summarize your topics around intellectual property, let me just give an overview to all the audience again, that you have gone and approached the critical thinking and innovation that has come up with intellectual property, and what all things can be patent, what all things cannot be patent. Like if you want to patent anything, it should be novel, it should be non-obvious, it should be an industrial application. Where to apply, you have given such a detailed way in which we can go for an online patent application. You have given us the timeline that at what time the patent should be formed, the patent should be gone ahead with the time. You have given the websites and links for global patents, so all the audience and the faculty can get the benefit of this. Then you have also suggested about patent journals, that on Fridays the patent journals are being given so that we can go through it and we can see that how we can approach for the same. Then talking about the copyright, copyright plays such an important role that it has a right, and how we can go ahead with the registrations also. And talking about the faculties, how the academic is helping intellectual property in outcome based education, in property based learning, activity based learning. So, sir, overall, we have got such a great insight. Thank you for the detailed explanation, sir, of the intellectual property and how it is being played an important role in academics as well as in industrial applications, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable knowledge and wisdom.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.